So it's less than 1 week until Avowed launches, and hell, if you're buying the deluxe edition, it's literally only 2 days away now. And there are a lot of elements to this game that have me really excited in the lead up. It looks like exactly the type of game I love to play, and there are a lot of details that have me very, very optimistic that this game might just be a banger. Now, the first thing that has really interested me in the lead up to launch with this information coming out actually years ago, it's not a recent piece of information, and that is the fact that the game has a flexible, almost classless system that allows us as the player to play however the hell we want. Now, we've seen throughout a lot of the gameplay that there are obviously a lot of different weapons we can use, from swords and shields to sort of great hammers and big battle axes and stuff like that. We can also see a lot of magic gameplay using wands and even these little spell books and stuff like that. And then on top of that, we've even seen not only bows and arrows, but freaking pistols and some sort of rifle as well. So it seems there are a hell of a lot of ways to play this game. It isn't just going to be like one-dimensional combat, but the best part about that is that we can sort of change the way that we play on the fly, and you don't have to be locked into one single way of playing. You might start out the game playing with a sword and shield, and you might really enjoy that, but by 5 hours in, you might be kind of thinking, okay, this is kind of gone as far as it can go, and I'm getting a little bit bored of it. But the good thing is, if you get bored of that, you can literally just pull out your wand and your spell book and start playing that way as well. Now, once you get another 10 hours in, you might also get a little bit bored of that, at which point you can pull out the pistols that we've seen and just start shooting like a madman. Or you can literally just mix and match as you go. Even in a single fight, you could use all of those weapons at any given moment. And for me, I am really excited by that. It feels like the combat is going to be so enjoyable because there are just so many different ways to approach it. And they've even said that when it comes to like skill points and stuff like that, which this kind of goes into not being locked into one class, you can just reset your skill points at any given time by spending essentially the in-game currency. How much that is, I'm not too sure, but yeah. If you have spent all your skill points on buffing your sword and shield, for example, and then you don't want to play that way anymore, well, that doesn't matter. You can literally just change whenever you want. Now, something else I am really, really excited to see is the companion system in this game. They've confirmed there is a companion system that allows you to bring 2 companions with you throughout your journey in the game, and presumably we will be able to pick and choose our companions throughout the game. So once again, it doesn't seem like we're going to be locked into having any specific companions. Now, just like in most other games that have a companion system, they will obviously help you out in combat. They've said not only do they automatically fight, but you can even have some level of control over them, sort of asking them to do certain things. And that is not only in combat too. They've even said that they will help out with certain like puzzle mechanics. So if there's an area blocked off, for example, that needs to be like burned away, well, certain companions that you choose, they will have some sort of flame magic, or even, I don't know, a flaming arrow, for example, that you can instruct them to shoot at that thing that needs to be burned down. They'll do that, and then you can actually get into those areas. So I think this system is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I always love having companions in games where you can pick and choose an awesome squad that sort of rolls around with you and just takes care of all the enemies. On top of that too, it is going to add layers to the story too. You can discuss things with your companions at your camp. They've said you can learn skills from them as well, and they even have opinions on the decisions that you make throughout the game too. So not only from a gameplay perspective, but also just to do with the story, I think this is going to be a really promising system. We've obviously seen it plenty of times across other games, but even to this day, it still gets me excited. Now, before we go any further, if you guys are new to the channel and you're interested in more Avowed content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm excited to say that I have currently been playing Avowed through a review code, thanks to Xbox and Obsidian, and there is plenty of content on the way once the game launches, so you want to make sure you're not missing out. Now, another massive detail that I actually did not know about initially is that this game is set in the Pillars of Eternity universe. Now, I'm going to admit sin here. I've never played any of the Pillars of Eternity games. For those who aren't aware what they are previous games by Obsidian as well, in Pillars of Eternity and then Pillars of Eternity Deadfire from 2015 and 2018 respectively. Now, the best part is that, like I just said, I haven't played these games, and the good thing is we don't need to have played them to understand what's going on. Obviously, if you have played those games, you're going to be even more excited by a lot of the lore and stuff that goes on. Apparently, those games are super deep when it comes to the lore, but the best part is that if you are completely new to that franchise, this is a great jumping off point. You don't need to go back and play those games before this one. Not only is it a standalone story, but those games are obviously very different from Avowed 2. So I think that's actually a good thing, that a lot of people are going to enjoy a franchise they already know, and for those who haven't, that doesn't actually really affect us whatsoever. If anything, it's a good thing because we know this franchise, or I guess this universe, I should say, is already pretty deep, and it means the lore is going to be really exciting. Now, something else that is really promising about this game is that it's been in development since roughly 2018. I'll be honest, this only came on my radar probably 2 years ago now, roughly, and a lot of people were really concerned about the delay too, because anyone who was like me, who only just found out about the game and then a few years later it's delayed, that can sound like it's been rushed and they needed to get it right. But like I said, the good thing is it's been in development since 2018. Whether that is officially confirmed, I can't actually find anything to back that up, but there have been some tweets and stuff like that from previous developers that worked there that mentioned that is when they started working on the game themselves. So it's definitely been a long time, and we know that it was initially revealed, or at least announced, in 2020 as well. So it's been a minimum of 5 years, and like I said, there are things that definitely pointed at being in development since 2018. Now that would be a 7-year development cycle, or roughly 7 years anyway. And for a game of this scale, that is a hell of a lot of time, which I think is a really good thing. It means there is a good chance it is going to be very polished and very well made. And I'd be absolutely shocked if the game feels rushed or super buggy, because having that much time spent on it means they have had the chance, especially with this recent delay as well, to really polish things up. The delay last year was purely due to the stacked November period, in which obviously there are a lot of big games coming out every November. Ironically, they actually shifted it to an even more stacked time frame in February, because we've had so many games already come out in Civ 7 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and then Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out in 10 days after this game, as well as even Assassin's Creed Shadows not too far away either. So it is ironic as to when they chose to delay the game to, but I'm hoping it doesn't affect sales. Not that I really care how much money Microsoft make, but in terms of the actual dev team, I want the game to succeed. Obsidian are a really good studio, and so let's hope that the delay doesn't actually get in the way when it comes to all the other games coming out too. Now, the final detail I wanted to talk about is that this is technically Obsidian's first AAA title since the Xbox takeover. Now, their last AAA game that they launched was The Outer Worlds, which was in 2019. Now, Xbox bought them in 2018, but because they were already so deep into development on The Outer Worlds, the buyout didn't really have an effect. And so a lot of people are, I guess, coining this as their first proper AAA title under Xbox, even though I don't necessarily agree. They already released The Outer Worlds, which was published by Xbox. So I think the definition of AAA has been very kind of all over the place over the last few years. And this one I don't necessarily agree with, but that is what pretty much everyone in the industry is saying, that this is their first AAA title under Xbox. Now, there's obviously a lot of pressure on Xbox over the last few years to deliver. They have been in a bit of a hole in realistically the last decade at this point, and it means that every game like this that they're releasing, they are riding on them doing fairly well, and it means that hopefully they're putting a lot of resources into it to make sure that they deliver. Now, 2024 was actually a really good year for Xbox, finishing especially strong with Indiana Jones. And if they can start the year off with Avowed, then going into Expedition 33 and Doom in April and May, then that is obviously going to be huge for Xbox, which has me optimistic that hopefully they have put a lot of resources into Avowed. But that is it for some of the biggest details surrounding Avowed, guys. I'm keen to hear all of your thoughts on this game, so be sure to leave a comment down below. And like I said, if you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There is plenty of content on the way, so make sure you don't miss out. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.